then, let's make one of your tree dome.
You know, all of a sudden I don't feel much like sandcastles, SpongeBob.
Let's take a look at 15 mistakes that you might have missed in episodes from season 1 and 2 of SpongeBob. You don't want to miss these, so watch closely and see if you can spot them. Now, let's dive in. Number 1, Suds.
Oh, Gary, I feel horrible.
First up on our list today is Suds from season 1. In this episode, SpongeBob comes down with the Suds, a cold-like sickness he catches after leaving his refrigerator open.
The fridge!
Don't leave the refrigerator open, kids. SpongeBob becomes progressively more and more sick throughout the episode, and Patrick scares him away from going to the doctor.
I know a guy who knows a guy who went to the doctor once, and the doctor's office is a horrible, horrible place. It's a device so sinister, so icy cold when it touches your bare flesh,
So, Patrick takes on the role of doctor to help SpongeBob, but it doesn't work out.
It appears as though we'll have to plug up these holes. This ought to do the trick.
I'm okay, Sandy, really.
Throughout this episode, however, some mistakes are made, from missing buildings to discoloration. So let's check those out, starting from the beginning of the episode.
Nothing like a peanut butter and jellyfish jelly sandwich to help you get to sleep.
This mistake might not be so obvious, but you might have even noticed it. When SpongeBob opens the bread to apply some sea nut butter, the jelly is already there. I guess bread in Bikini Bottom already comes with jelly. Wouldn't that be convenient?
Here's that patty you wanted, Mr. Krabs, sir.
SpongeBob still goes to work sick, but ends up being sent home because of how bad it is. The mistake in this scene occurs when SpongeBob is about to sneeze. If you watch carefully, the white of his left eye turns black for a second. The only other time this happens is earlier on in the episode.
Okay, Patrick, where's SpongeBob?
When Sandy is looking for SpongeBob, who Patrick has been trying to help get better, he disguises him as a rock.
Since when do you have two houses?
We can clearly see there are two houses side by side. But in the first shot, when Sandy approaches Patrick, we only see one. This happens again later too.
Since when does your house have feet?
This is my mobile home.
Hiya, Sandy.
We can see Patrick's house right behind SpongeBob during the close-up of his feet. But in the faraway shot, the house is gone again. SpongeBob basically turns into a bowling ball and goes careening down a hill and into Bikini Bottom. However, he comes from across the street of the Krusty Krab where the chum bucket should have been, but it's missing, which is probably a good thing, otherwise it would have gotten rammed into by SpongeBob. Number 2, Texas.
There it is.
What is it?
Can't you see? It's Texas.
Next on the list is another episode from season 1 called Texas. In this episode, Sandy is reminiscing about her home back in the state of Texas, longing for the southern lifestyle she grew up with. However, her friends don't seem to understand.
Patrick, what am I now?
Stupid?
No, I'm Texas.
Well, ex-friends now. And our first mistake actually happens in this clip. Were you able to spot it? As the lasso goes around Patrick and he's pulled away, he yells. When he yells, his lips don't sync with his words. They only move once, around the P in SpongeBob's name. This isn't the only scene in this episode to do that. If we rewind to just a few seconds before, watch Sandy's mouth. We can hear Sandy audible panting, but her mouth isn't moving at all during the clip. It stays in a firm, angry line as she chases after her prey. Earlier in the episode, another mistake happens on Sandy.
I miss my 20 acres.
As Sandy is singing her song, Missing Her Home, if you keep an eye on her neck, when she says miss, it turns white for just a second.
Look, Patrick, I'm Texas.
This one is really easy to miss. When SpongeBob is speaking, a second line for his bottom lip appears around the time he says, look. A lot of mistakes with the characters' mouths happened in this episode, but now we're moving on to season 2. Number 3, Gary takes a bath.
Now, why don't you just get in the tub? Get in the tub! Get in the tub! Get in the tub!
Gary Takes a Bath is a hilarious episode from the second season where SpongeBob tries to bathe his pet. But Gary, sticking with the stereotypes of a cat, refuses to get into the water no matter what. So SpongeBob spends the day trying to trick him.
Wow, Gary, look! A pirate treasure chest!
Keep an eye on SpongeBob's fingers in this next scene since a mistake occurs with them.
Hey, Gare! How about some leapfrog?
On both of SpongeBob's middle fingers, the outline is incorrect. It makes the fingers look like they're detached from the hand while the others look normal.
Look, doubloons! Don't drop them. Look at this brooch. I don't know what a snail would want with a brooch.
SpongeBob sets down the 2 bars of soap and the rubber duck to lure Gary into the bathtub, but to no avail. Whenever he grabs Gary, though, the soaps and duck are no longer on the ground and have just completely disappeared.
What are you waiting for, Gary?
Gary, fed up with SpongeBob's shenanigans, flees the house through the pet door. But the pet door is only there for the few seconds that Gary runs out of it. When we see the house from far away, it's not there. And when SpongeBob opens the door, the outline of the pet door disappears.
Oh no! I bathed Gary too hard and removed his skin!
Number 4. I'm with Stupid.
Patrick, I get the feeling that you think I really am dumb.
In this episode in Season 2 called I'm with Stupid, Patrick's parents drop by. In order to convince them that Patrick isn't stupid, SpongeBob pretends to be dumb.
Shake hands! No, SpongeBob! Grab my dad's hand!
But Patrick starts to believe his own lie and is convinced SpongeBob is dumb, which starts to drive SpongeBob insane. For this episode, the mistakes we are going to focus on have to do with Patrick's house. There are a lot of inconsistencies throughout, but let's start at the beginning.
Well, Patrick, I came over to see if you wanted to go jellyfishing, but I can see you're busy having an episode.
At the start of the episode, the depth of the hole under Patrick's rock is pretty deep. SpongeBob is about head level with the ground surrounding the hole. However, that changes soon after.
What a surprise!
Now, considering SpongeBob is shorter than the starfish, this may not be a noticeable difference, but if we compare it to later scenes, you'll be able to tell really easily that the depth of the hole is getting shallower and shallower.
Excuse me, does this lovely couple belong to you?
Now the hole is very shallow. Before, the ground was level with their shoulders. Now it's level with their knees. Of course, this is assuming they have knees. But you get the picture. And then, not even 10 seconds later, the depth of the hole changes again.
Mom! Dad!
Oh, that's right, honey. We don't have a son.
Oh, yeah.
Now the ground is level with their ankles. These are just a few examples of all the times it changes, not even including when the rock is closed and they have plenty of headroom underneath the rock.
Oh, what's on your mind? No, wait! I already know the answer. Nothing!
But that's all for today. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe. Then click the video on screen to watch our newest video. We'll see you there.
Patrick, what's with the home improvement?